Hey, first grade friends, Mrs. Gummo here, and very, very excited. We are in the final week of our reading units for the entire school year. As you know, this reading unit has been focused on nonfiction texts, texts that teach us about real things in our lives. And Mr. Moskowitz, Mrs. Nelson, and I have really challenged you to pick topics that you're interested in and you wanted to learn more about within this unit. We've given you tools to use as you've read. I've got our anchor charts from past units over here. I've got some of the other charts that you've used throughout the unit, including the mini key detail mini chart, which helps you in any nonfiction book that you read really think about what's the main idea, the main topics that the author wants you to learn. The book club's conversation chart helped you frame your thinking last week and hopefully helped you have some great conversation about what you've been learning. Today, or I should say today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, the last few days of this unit, really focus on taking all the information you're learning in your books and comparing them. We started doing that work on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. And so I only brought one of my charts. I prefer to organize my thinking in this semantics web. I like to have the main idea in the center of my web, and then remember we had our lines for information about the topic. Red was information learned from sharks by Anne Schreiber, and the green writing was from the book Sharks by Ellen Northcutt. And basically, we was saying, we were comparing the information, what was the same in the book from the books, what was the same information from the books, but also it included some more thoughts that we had as we were reading. In your learning plans this week, you have these two charts again. This chart again, the common nonfiction text structures to look out for. We'll be looking specifically at comparing the way authors organize their information, different books, comparing and contrasting. And today, what I want to teach you is that most nonfiction books only contain bits and pieces of the whole truth about the topic. Every author has to pick and choose what to include and what to leave out. There just simply isn't room in one book to include everything. So one thing readers do is think, what's missing from this book? And I wrote that down here because this is going to frame our thinking today as we read an excerpt from another book about sharks. And the other thing you can think about as the reader is, how is this book different, the same, or different from other books on this topic? And again, using this comparing and contrasting sheet can help you frame your thinking around that. So today I've pulled up another storybook because I only really had that one shark book at home that I thought was worth looking at for our lessons. So I typed in to the search engine on Story of Sharks again, and I'm kind of going to turn this way so we can do this thinking together while I hold the computer. So today I picked this nonfiction book called Sharks in the Dark, and this book is by Eduardo Aparicio. As we read, we really want to think about the main ideas in each section. And what we'll do is we'll compare and contrast what's in the various sections with the books that we already read, Sharks by Anne Schreiber and Sharks by Ellen Northcutt. But the other thing you can be thinking about as you read is there anything missing from the book as we read? Sunlight helps people and animals see, but many sharks hunt at night when it is dark. Other sharks live in the deep ocean where it's always dark. What do sharks do in the dark? Let's find out. Ooh, we already got some great information here about the introduction of this book, what the author is really going to focus on. What do you think it is, readers? What are some of your thoughts? I was thinking the same thing, that we learned about sharks living in the deep ocean in our other books, that when we talked about the shark skin, that some sharks light up like lantern sharks, and we know that some do live in the dark. So I think that this author is going to teach us a lot more about that. So that is the same as the other books we've read. Let's read on. The cat shark lives in the deep ocean where it is dark. Its eyes shine like a cat's eyes in the dark. This helps the cat shark see. What makes the eyes of cat shark shine? Light goes into their eyes and then bounces back out. It's like shining a light at a mirror. So if we pause and think here about the questions we're thinking about today, what's missing from this book? How is this book the same or different from other books on this topic? What do you think? I hadn't heard of the cat shark either. I didn't know it lived deep down in the ocean. Are you also thinking about how it's teaching us how the eyes shine? We didn't learn that in other books, did we? We did learn about the shark skin on the lantern shark, and that it has something on it that makes it light up in the dark. But we didn't learn about the cat shark. Let's read on one more page, readers, and then I'm going to be sending you off to do some of this thinking on your own as you read at home. Some sharks like to hide in some sharks like to hide in dark, cloudy water. Sharks can see well there. Some sharks like to hide in dark places. They wait for their dinner to swim by. Ooh, nurse shark waiting for dinner. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, readers? I didn't know that, or we really haven't learned specifically that I don't think that the sharks use the dark to camouflage themselves or hide to wait for their predators and surprise them. And we didn't really learn yet that some sharks hide in dark, cloudy water, and that they can see really well in dark, cloudy water. That's new information. Different from what Anne Schreiber and Ellen Northcutt taught us in the other books about sharks. So you see, readers, just in the first few pages of a new book, we're already comparing, thinking about what's the same, and contrasting the books, what's different about books on the same topic. You can continue to do this work, and again, it doesn't have to be specifically with the topic of sharks. It can be anything you want to learn about. But if you do want to read on, which I'm going to use this book for our lessons tomorrow and Wednesday, but if you want to read on, this book that I started with you today is on Storia, and there's a lot of other great nonfiction books there as well. Happy reading today, readers. And when you're done, I challenge you to tell somebody in your home about what you noticed in the book you read today that's the same and that's different. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.